I'm Geoff Buys Cars, and this is yet another Saab 9.5 Aero hot turbo hot aero with 250 horsepower. You've heard me say it time and time again, but this one, I feel like I say that every time. This one's great, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. All right then, let's get this started. So, why have I bought this car? Well, why would I not buy a Saab 9.5 Aero hot turbo hot aero for cheap off a Facebook marketplace? I got in touch with the seller and said, hey, I'm Geoff Buys Cars, I like to do cool stuff with cars. Here's a video about my Saab 9000. He said, yeah, I'm well up for selling you a car. So that's how that came around, basically. 131,000 miles from new, 4 owners, stacks of paperwork, but it's a very short MOT, and you can probably hear that slight knocking coming from the front, which I believe is a top mount, so we definitely needs that doing. It did have an engine light on when the seller wrote the description, but that engine light now seems to have gone. Result. I've said all along in my videos that the Saab 9.5, the early one particularly, is one of the most comfortable cars, and that reminds me, why haven't I got my heated seat on? So I'll just put my heated seat up to setting number 3. The leather on these seats, I don't know where they found the cows for the leather on the Saab 9.5 early generation cars, because they're so supple and so soft, and it's a car that, despite the fact that it's a beast with a manual gearbox and 250 horsepower, I get in it and I react the same way I do when I climb in my S-Class. I go, ah. I love the way everything's laid out inside. It's nice and simple. This one's got a large, badly fitted screen thing going on, which definitely needs ripping out and replacing, so that's a job for the new owner. And the temperature gauge doesn't work for the cabin sensor, for the cabin temperature, because the previous owner ran over a pheasant, not a peasant, a pheasant, and wiped out a lot of the wiring underneath the front bumper. So if that bothers you, get it fixed. Probably not going to be that hard to sort that out. If it doesn't bother you, not the pheasant thing, obviously I would expect you to be bothered by the pheasant thing. I mean, they're bred for hunting anyway, so maybe you would rather be hit by a Saab 9.5 turbo hot, aero turbo hot, than shot by a posh person. I don't know, let me know in the comments. I guess he didn't see it coming. Maybe he did see it coming. Maybe it was deliberate. Maybe it jumped out in front of the Saab 9.5 Aero hot turbo hot because that's the way he wanted to go, and he didn't want to be shot by a posh person. But we may never know. It'd be weird if we somehow did find out an answer to that question. Suicidalpheasants.com, where they all, maybe he's got a blog and was writing like really dark poetry in the weeks leading up to his sad demise, and all his friends were like, he always said that was exactly how he wanted to go out. I'm just waiting for this van to get into the national speed limit bit, and I'm waiting for a little bit of warmth to get into my Saab, and then we'll start taking things a bit more seriously. The van has now moved, we're now in the national speed limit bit, so let's see what this bad boy has got. Third gear. Woohoo! Crikey O'Reilly! It feels quick, and you know that it's picking up, but it's the way it then starts to boot you in the back. But it's not like, it's not a kick, it's a pull, and it's constant, and it keeps going. And that's where you can become unstuck, because you put your foot on the floor and carry on doing that, the car can run away with you, and you look down at the speedo, and suddenly you're going a lot faster than you thought you were, because you were enjoying it. Like, it's hard for me to put over on camera just how good that acceleration feels. And that's why people find these cars so addictive. There's something in the way these Saabs deliver their power that is just intoxicating. And it's not just about the acceleration, it's not just about the speed, it's the whole package, it's the way it feels, and it's the fact that I'm driving a family car that can do that can make you feel that way in third gear. And yet now, you know, here I am, 2000 RPM, rocking along at 40 mile an hour, I've got my heated seat on, and suddenly it's a civilized machine again. But I know full well, if I get a straight stretch of road and I mash my foot into the carpet, it's like a supercar destroyer. Why would you not want that for your family car? make it to 5th gear. I missed and ended up in neutral instead. Oh my gosh. Like, between 30 mile an hour and 90 mile an hour, not that I did 90 mile an hour because that would be illegal. Between 30 mile an hour and the speed limit, there is nothing that can touch this car at this price point in terms of how much fun that is. It's ridiculous. Do I really need to answer that question? I've been making these videos for 18 months now. I've bought a blue turbo Aero turbo. I bought that steel grey turbo Aero, and I bought Pablo, which was basically a turbo Aero. My Saab 9.5 Aero Hot and my Saab 9.5 Diesel Estate. Hot Aero Turbo, Hot Aero Hot Turbo. On YouTube. And every time I've made one of those videos, I told you to go and buy one. I keep telling you to go and buy them. Go and buy them now! But leave some for me. Yeah, there's no question. There is no question as to whether or not you should buy a Saab Aero Turbo Hot. I believe there's a magical window of years where cars reached the peak of being a car before they became iPhones with wheels. And I think for me, it's the late 90s to early 2000s is this magical era where cars were everything they needed to be and not too much. But that's also, not only is that in a technological context, but it's also in a horsepower context. I think there's a magical amount of horsepower which is between 230 and about 320. And once you start going over and above those figures, you get quite quickly into the unnecessary. There's no need, it's unusable power, and the kind of power that just gets you into trouble. Whereas this car is rapid enough to pin a grin on your face, cheeky enough to make you laugh, but not like too stupid that you can't drive it anywhere slowly, you know? It's quite hard to get 5th gear in this car. There it is, because I don't know, there's a linkage that's loose or whatever, but and I think for me that is what is so magical about cars of this era. It's got a turbo, it's got 250 horsepower, and that's great, you know? Front wheel drive, 5-speed box, and yet if this was a modern performance estate car, it would have 450 horsepower, it would have an automatic gearbox with 25 gears, it would have 4-wheel drive, and it would have 250 different settings for your suspension and your shocks and how the power's delivered, and you could probably give it a name on the thing, and then it would do Bluetooth and it would do Apple CarPlay, and you wouldn't be able to ever work out any of it. But with this, it's just a manual gearbox. Driving along with your door open, he's just pulled over to close his door. Excellent. You got a manual gearbox, you got loads of power, but not too much, and you just got a stereo and some heated seats and nothing overly technical. And for me, that is the prize. It really is. There's a dog! The dog just walked out into the road. There's a guy walking his dog along the verge, and as I got to him, the dog jumped out into the road. What does he think he is, a pheasant? I think that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've thoroughly enjoyed my afternoon with this car. As I've said with every Saab Aero I've had previously, I wish I'd spent more time with this one. I'm going to buy another one. And I'm going to spend a bit more time with it. So, join the Geoff Buys Cars Insider group on Facebook, and join the Look What I Found Geoff group on Facebook, and find me Saab 9.5 Aero Hot Turbo Hot Aeros, what I can buy, and maybe I'll keep one at some point. I think Mrs. Jeff's really going to like this car. I might take her out in it this evening. We're going swimming tonight. I'm going to take this car. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just see what the look on her face is when I accelerate. Like one of them shit adverts. Those crappy YouTube videos where it's like, first ride in supercar with my mother-in-law. Look at the look on her face. I'm going to make one of those videos after that wedding we had the other day. First time mother-in-law ever got hit by a speeding supercar. I love these Saabs.
YouTube's most boring car channel.